Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. My name is Dona Kappmeyer, and I'm the CEO and firm owner of Capital Game Plan Consulting and Action Coach in South Texas. And I'm going to be your host for today. I am very excited to have our special guest, Brittany Paul, on our show. Brittany is a CEO of Lone Star Energy Efficiency in San Antonio, Texas. And today we're going to speak with Brittany about her journey to get to where she's at today and the challenges and successes of owning and operating a business. If this is your first time on our show, please be sure to like and subscribe so you can get notifications when we publish new content. Well, Brittany, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about today.
Me too. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. And let's talk a
Sure.
little bit about your business and how it's structured. Can you give us a little bit more insight into what that looks like?
Sure. I am the CEO and co-owner of Lone Star Energy Efficiency. We are a third-party testing and inspection company for energy code compliance. We also do home energy audits for residential homeowners as well. And really, what we do is we come alongside builders, developers, and make sure that they are meeting the code for energy, which would be IECC, which is International Energy Code Conservation. And so there are standards and guidelines that you can find. You can Google that and see all the things that builders need to build to make sure homes that are being constructed for new construction are meeting the requirements so that they're energy efficient for the next generation.
So that's a lot. It's very technical what you just said,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So are you primarily working with the builders and contractors, or are you also working with the homeowners directly? What is that? Give us a
Sure.
little bit more
Yes.
flavor with that.
Sure. So we're in two different markets. We do work
Okay.
with builders, contractors. That's mainly who we work with um, to meet energy code compliance. So for instance, like the city of San Antonio, if you look up IB 167, they have outlined what they want the builder to make sure that they have. And a third party energy company like ours comes in and makes sure that they're following what the city wants. So instead of the city pushing out inspectors for this specific um, area, because there's like building codes, there's different things that the builder needs to do. Energy is one section of that. So we basically come alongside cities to make sure that energy efficiency aspects of the build are in place and following the international code.
Interesting. Very interesting. So what makes your business unique? Is this something that's been around for a long time? Is this something that's fairly new to the market? Give us a
I
little bit more
think it,
information on that.
yeah, so it's not, it's, maybe 10, 12 years. I think 20, it probably started in actually 2009.
Okay.
So it hasn't been, yes, what we do is very niche. It's not very many people know about it. And normally the people figure out what we do once they figure out that they're in at the end of the build if they're newer to construction, and then they're like Googling to try to find a company like ours. So yes, it is newer. I think, different cities have different guide or they uphold it in different ways. So the city ultimately gets to decide what they're going to follow, and then they can make amendments to that. So really, we reach out a lot to cities to make sure that we're follow their development services department to make sure we understand what we need to provide for the client, the builder, the developer. It really depends on the structure of, that private development that's happening, whether it's a single family or it's like multifamily or commercial.
Awesome. Are there a lot of competitors in your space that
Um,
do the same kind of
yes.
thing?
So there are
Okay.
national brands that do, that are all over the country. And then there's some local. I would say there's probably like five of us locally that are from San Antonio and service in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. And then of course there's like, and each city has different energy companies. Like Austin is very highly saturated with energy efficiency companies, but
Hmm.
Austin also has a lot of energy requirements and guidelines that they want them to follow.
Hmm.
So,
So keep going.
okay, and I was going to answer your question. So we do work with builders and contractors, developers. It really depends on what it is. So we do residential, single family, multifamily, and commercial. Then we also do homeowners, where it's like more energy audit. And our company actually responded to an RFP with another city. So we're looking to provide that city, their customers with home energy audits coming in 2026. If it all pans out. So I think, it's not there yet, but we're getting there. So w the main thing that we love at Lone Star is educating, whether it's a builder, new builder, whether it's somebody on the multifamily team that just like came in and, they're under the superintendent and they're now like helping manage the construction process, or if it's the homeowner, helping them understand what is happening in the building envelope and how can we make sure it's energy efficient. And one of our quotes is it's not for just this generation, it's not for just this year, it's for generations to come. It's for buildings to withstand the test of time and not to deteriorate.
Love that. So let's talk a little bit about uniqueness. What would you say, there's a few competitors in your space. What would you say makes you unique, and why would people or companies want to do business with you?
I think that's a good question. I feel like I've been meditating on this as we've had a few experiences in the last few weeks. What makes us different is our expertise, our knowledge, and our education. Like, really, I think I'm very energetic. I love to teach. I love to learn what their pain points are and then help them through that. And then my partner, who's also my husband, his name is Clay Paul. He's the expert, and he's been in the industry for, oh gosh, I keep having to add a year. It's like 15 plus years now, and he's been at all levels. He's been to thousands of homes, thousands and thousands of homes, running blower doors. He's gone to multifamily, he's gone to single family, commercial. So he's like really seen it all. And so his main thing, I love when he gets on site and I get to see him work, is it's just a conversation and it's just educating of how everything works together, right? And how this little piece, you think it's little, but really in the grand scheme of things, after, the systems are in place and it's running, it does matter. So that education, I think it's our energy and just wanting to work with builders, not wanting to like shame them or put them down, but like, if there's a problem, we want to help you figure out, we want to tell you how we can help you fix it, and not just like walk off and be like, oh, you failed, call us when you fix it, right? But like, hey, this is what's going on here. And so this is, if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll get a better result next time for this, issue or observation. So we do provide observations when there's a failure so that they can see, how to continue to get better.
I like that because it's more collaborative than
Mhm.
punishment, right?
Right.
Takes that fear factor out of the equation, if you will.
Right, and we're always assuming that they don't know. Like a lot of times, there's a lot in building. Like the construction process, there's so much to know and memorize, and so like we always go with the concept of maybe they've never heard about this. This is maybe their first time, so let's teach them as if they're a new learner, not as if they should have already known it. Um, but if we teach them this time, then they're going to know for the next time, right? And we
Very
also want
good.
them to make corrections, right? We do make corrections. We do make sure it's following code, but we help them understand why and how to build better.
Beautiful. So, what is one thing that you wish more people knew about the industry and the business that you're in?
Um, that were necessary.
That were necessary.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah, I
right.
think that were necessary. It would take a lot for different municipalities to like have this QA process in-house, right? Like I think them having a third party who is an expert in it and who is dedicating their life, their days to going out and, being a part of the building process to teach and educate and help people understand energy code. And even just understanding the building envelope, like the homeowners, like in 2026, we definitely want to make a push a little bit more for like existing homes. And I think you really feel empowered as a homeowner when you know what's happening in your home, when you understand what air leakage is, when you understand what your AC system is doing and how moisture can affect it and all those little things. All this I can get technical sometimes and I'm sorry. I get excited about it. I'm passionate about it. I love it. Um, we've only been in business for about, I say only, but four years. And over those 4 years, I've really just learned so much. And then I love to share that. So I don't know if I answered your question in that, but
It's great. And you can feel that passion. So let's unpack that a little bit more. So why did you get into this business in the first place?
sure. So, previously I was a second grade teacher and I loved teaching. Then I decided to stay home with my son, my firstborn son, and but then I just got an itch. I couldn't. I just needed to do something more, and then I started a photography business. And all the while, my husband was in corporate life, running these systems or running these programs for a utility company, and he knows a lot. He's been in the field, he's been in the corporate side. And he just looked at me one day and he was like, you know what? I think this is the time. If we're going to ever do a business, it's now. Like, we need to start kind of thinking about it. We started praying about it. It took a whole year for that to actually start, right? It didn't happen immediately, but um, I always knew that we were going to work together. I just didn't know how. I thought it was going to be building homes, but then after we like looked at his background and what he knew, and then what I knew from like um, building a business in photography, I was like, we can do this. Like we can do this. And so we just started, researching, starting with the fundamentals, like getting your DBA, your LLC and getting an account and setting up, getting insurance, all those things. And so we just kind of started that way. And then I am such like I feel like I prop him up because I'm like he is just such an expert. Like he knows so much. I'm like we have to to leverage that, and this was the way to do that.
So that's a big pivot, right? You're leveraging what he knows, but you went from teaching to photography, and now I'm going to be in energy efficiency. So there had to be a lot of discussion, and there had to be some challenges and hurdles that you had to overcome. Let's talk a little bit about some of your challenges that you've experienced along the way.
Yes. Well, I think I didn't really understand that I had this like desire for entrepreneurship until I got older. I come from a family that's a family-owned business, and so I was always around that, and I didn't really understand that until I got older. And then um, one day I was like, oh, this makes sense of why I've had three, different type of jobs before I was, 35, because I was really trying to find what lights me on fire. And it's been some days I'm like this, I'm passionate, I'm excited, and other days I'm like, is this right? Or should we keep going? Like, I don't know. And then in this industry, it can be up and down. It can be, there's fast months and then there's slow months. And so like really understanding how to regulate through that and that for the most part, that's business, right? So I've had
Yeah.
to really learn the mindset of being a business owner in kind of like since photography and now starting this business and then and figuring out how to market and network with people in the construction industry. I reached out to a woman the other day on LinkedIn and I was like just looking to connect with more women in this industry, and she's like it's a really small group. So building those relationships and understanding how this whole industry actually works in terms of construction, right? Like the whole gamut of it, not just what we do. Um, and a little bit each day, right? A little bit more knowledge each day. And oh, I feel I've grown so much in 4 years. Like when I look back at, Brittany 4 years ago, I'm like, oh, you know nothing. You sweet girl. Oh, just keep going, right? Just keep taking the next step forward.
I love that. I love that, right? I mean, you recognize where you were at, but you know what? You're always moving forward. You're always learning, right? You're always, what do I need to do next? And you've got that fire in you and you have that passion in you to keep driving forward. So that's what it takes. That's what it takes to be successful. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. Let's talk about the future. Where do you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years? What does that look like?
Well, I have some pretty big goals. I would love to be in every city. I feel like every
Okay.
city in Texas, I guess in Texas.
Okay.
We're
Which
Texas.
Texas is big.
Yeah, we're a Texas brand. You know, if you go to our website, LoneStarEnergyEfficiency.com, you'll see it's all red, white, and blue, and the Texas flag is basically what screams at you. So, but we love Texas. We love just the people, and so I wanted to build teams and have people in different places, like be able to answer the call when someone calls from Houston. Actually, we've been getting our SEO or whatever is going on with our website is even getting us up to Midland. And they were like, "Oh, can you, provide a blower door in Midland?" I'm like, "We actually can't, but like too far for us right now." But my dream is to have someone close enough to be able to target anybody that calls. Um, I don't really know what that looks like yet. I think I'm taking slow steps to understanding how that can be without it being like a full on, you know, uh, all employees, all benefits, all, because this
Yeah.
industry is also, like I said, kind of up and down. And so it's a little bit different. So yeah, I think is that my answer?
You're
Every
great.
major city, which we're in a lot of major cities, San Antonio, Austin. We've made our way out to Houston a couple of times, so we're slowly getting there, and just continuing to build relationships with builders and developers and let them know, like you said earlier, like we're on your side, we're collaborating with you. We're
Yeah.
not here. We're here to help you make sure, yes, you're meeting code, but you're building strong, energy efficient structures for the person that's going to live there, right? For the
Yeah.
people that are going to occupy that space. Um, Whether it's, you know, um, lower income to higher income, they all need to be energy efficient.
You betcha. Betcha. That's very, very important. So being 4 years into this, what kind of advice would you give to those who are just starting out, or maybe they've been in business for a while, but what are some things that you would say to them about, what, don't do this, or I would do this, and this will kind of accelerate your success?
Yes. I believe in coaching. I believe that you need to have someone other than your husband or your business partner that can help coach you. And at each stage of my life, I've always had coaches. I was a soccer player from really young age, and I always had a coach, right? Like somebody was always kind of coaching me in that regard. And then teachers, right? They were coaching us in the classroom. And then when I got into photography, I purchased programs to be in a coaching program, as well as, I just did it. I'm about to end a 6 month program, but that was coaching more on on regulation of like
Hmm.
emotional regulation, mental regulation, the whole regulation of my body. I didn't know that I was out of regulation. Like I didn't even know really what that was. Um, so I feel like if I could say to anybody is like get a coach that can help listen, give you feedback, help you reach those goals that you have. And sometimes to just really be honest with you to say like, hey, you're actually doing it, right? Because sometimes we get in our head where we think, oh, I'm not, doing what I need to be, or I'm not making it. Um, we push ourselves harder than it needs to be. So I would say make sure you have a coach that's outside yourself, especially if you're a solopreneur. You need somebody else to really be that sounding board for you.
Beautiful. Well said. Well said. Thank you for sharing that.
And she didn't pay me to say
Thank you.
that.
That for the record, I did not pay
No,
Brittany to
you
say
didn't,
that.
but I truly believe in it. Like I was telling my coach yesterday, I feel like if I hadn't done this, what I see in 2026 is a lot, and I'm excited for it. But I had to like go through this program and build my capacity so I could be ready for it.
Yeah.
If I had stayed where I was and I would have just gone into this like, the hamster wheel circle, like
Yeah.
around and around and around. And I really have been able to grow by having outside voices to speak into me and to remind me of truth.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that you would like our audience to know about you or know about your business that you'd like to share today?
Yes. So I am very passionate about education and education about the buildings that we are living, working, and playing in. And so, if we can just continue to talk about what energy efficiency looks like and the little details that can make a huge difference, that's what I want to do really in 2026. I want to connect with more people and talk about what we do, to really just help them become aware of where they're living and like what their structure looks like and how it can be more energy efficient in terms of electricity bills, in terms of comfort, um, for, longevity. And understand, one thing is I always see happening is not to douse solar companies, but solar companies are good. Solar is great. It's a renewable energy. However, if you haven't looked at the actual building envelope and you're leaking air everywhere, then that's like kind of the first thing you got to do. And so to give
Mm,
people education on that, not to say that you don't need solar, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to understand what's going on with your building first. And like, what are
yeah.
the things that are actually going to give you the return on your investment in terms of homeowners? For builders, we're all about collaboration. We're here to work with you. We're here to educate you and your teams. So that's the other thing is we're kind of in two lanes. We're in like homeowners and then we're in like builders, developers. We work with a lot of multifamily builders and constructors. So yeah, we're looking at those different structures. So education and understanding of how, the building is functioning, I think is really important.
Fantastic. So I think you mentioned a little earlier about your website, but what's the best way for folks to get in contact with you?
Sure. So the best way to get in contact with me is probably through LinkedIn. I'm trying to
Okay.
build my LinkedIn
All
network right
right.
now. So just, I guess Brittany Paul LinkedIn. I think it's like dash Brittany Paul, leader in energy testing. Or, Lone Star Energy Efficiency. You can fill out contact information, or you can just give us a call. 210-953-3528. I love answering phone calls. I seem to get at least one a week just asking, hey, can you tell me a little bit about this? And sometimes my husband's like, you told them a lot. Like, I don't know if they needed all that, but I just love chatting about what we do. And yeah, we're just looking to spread the word and be a resource for homeowners and for builders and constructors.
It's because you're passionate about it, Brittany. That's why.
I know, I
Well,
know.
Brittany, thank you for sharing your story. This has been fun, and I know that our audience is going to find this information very valuable. This is a Business Spotlight series with Dona Kappmeyer from Capital Game Plan Consulting, and Action Coach along with Brittany Paul with Lone Star Energy Efficiency. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you can continue to see our great content. Thank you, Brittany, so much for being on
Thank
our show
you.
today. It's been
Thank
a lot of
you.
fun.
Yep.
Bye for now.